Hello, welcome back. I am in a place in the Northern Territory called Devil's Marbles. They're these beautiful rocks that are just in the middle of the outback, and you can do a walk around, I think it's like an 800-meter walk, which we're going to do at sunset because the way the sun hits the rocks gives them like a bit of an orangey red hue. We left Alice Springs, which is where I left my last video at, and we've only travelled about 4 hours north, but we've crossed the Tropic of Capricorn. A fun little fact is 3% of the world's population live below the Tropic of Capricorn, and I, living in Sydney, are one of them. And I also read every year it moves 15 meters north. Don't quote me, but I think that's what I read. Some fun facts for you. I like my channel to be educational, bring as much value as I can, but I'm really excited to get to some more watering holes. I think in the next few days we're going to reach Catherine and Mataranka, which have some beautiful natural thermal springs and pools, croc free, pretty sure. Hopefully don't get any nasty surprises there, but anyway, let's go check out Devil's Marbles. Morning. This one fly is not leaving me alone. Yes, I'm tired because we were not level, so I did not sleep well. Yesterday we missed the sunset. We came a little bit too late, so we didn't really capture the rocks at sunset, but I think they're just as beautiful in this soft morning light. So I'm just getting some steps in before we do a 5-hour drive. It's just such a peaceful place. Like, we have made it to the iconic Daly Waters historic pub. It first opened, I think, in 1930, but I read on a sign that it's actually been serving drinks illegally to people, to travellers and whatnot, since the 1880s. So it's the oldest pub here in the outback in the Northern Territory, so pretty cool to see. We're gonna go check it out. Just the pub itself has a lot of character, and there's live music every night. To stay here we pay $20 for 2 people for 1 night unpowered, and we're actually in the overflow. It's that busy here, probably the busiest campsite I've stayed in. They pack you in like sardines, I'll tell you that much. Get this hat. Good morning. Last night we stayed in Bitter Springs campground, and we visited Bitter Springs, which are like natural thermal pools. We visited them yesterday. It was very, very busy. So we've come now this morning to hopefully, I was going to say have the place to ourselves, but there's actually already a few cars in the car park and it's only 7 a.m. I mean, there'll only be a few other people there, which will still be nice. But we just wanted to, film it a little while it's a bit quieter. There are freshwater crocs in this area, but I think because they're very rare to see because the water is so warm and they prefer a cooler temperature and a bit murkier. The water here is like crystal clear, but they have seen them here. I was a bit nervous swimming, but everyone seems to come here, so I'd have to be very unlucky. You can see how clear it is over there. Obviously the sun's not hitting it, but you can see all the steam rising off it. The temperature of this is typically 33 degrees Celsius. So we are now in Kakadu National Park, and it's the biggest, I think it's the biggest national park in Australia. Our first stop is Cowinda, and it is home to the, I think it's known around the world, the Yellow Waters Billabong cruise. So we're doing that tomorrow morning. We'll be watching the sunrise as we are floating down the Billabong. We've been looking forward to this really from the start of our trip, so that'll be really cool. And there's a few other things that we want to see in Kakadu. When you buy a pass for here, it's actually a 7-day pass, although a lot of the roads are actually closed. A lot of them are forward drive, so it doesn't really matter because our bus wouldn't be able to go there anyway, but like a lot of the beautiful waterfalls are closed at the moment, so you have to kind of stay to the bitumen. Not too much to explore at the moment. After British Springs, we went to Mataranka Springs. Didn't like it as much. It was a little bit more commercial. It felt more like a swimming pool as opposed to like natural springs, but the colour itself was, the water was clearer, so yeah, I think that's why it felt like a pool as well. And then we made our way to Katherine, which is like considered a big town here in the NT. We just did our usual errands. We also stopped at a really nice cafe called Peekaboo Cafe. Got a nice brekkie there, and also visited the hot springs there, which were pretty cool. And then made our way here, so very excited to explore Kakadu.
So you'll be able to see a lot of these sacred lotuses. Closer, that bird up on the branch actually is a pied cormorant. That net darters. This is the bigger ones here have all got pretty dark.
They've come to Bang, which is a sacred site here. Rock art that they've preserved. It feels like you're in a thick, dense rainforest, which I guess you are. is called Noarlungie rock, but I'm pretty sure that's not the traditional name. The lower area is called Bang, I think that's pronounced right. And it's just a short loop walk, and it takes you to various rock sites where there is Aboriginal rock art, which has been there for tens of thousands of years. Rock shelters where they used to stay in the storm season. And archaeologists that have been to that area have found artifacts from 20,000 years ago. So they are the oldest living culture, which is just incredible, and it's just fascinating to come see. You're not supposed to film the rock art or take photos because it's very sacred and you have to be here to see it. So now we're heading to Jabiru, which is like a little town here in Kakadu National Park. As I was saying, we had to start the car to turn the aircon on. They had a very lush wet season, so very humid. The mosquitoes are rife and they have their own type of mosquito here, the Kakadu mosquito. It's like a different colour, it's like a gingery colour. There are so many, and they actually don't seem to be repelled by insect repellent. So they're a bit relentless, these Kakadu mozzies. So we've actually been staying at caravan parks the past few days because we need the pool, basically. It's just too hot in the bus. So yeah, NT is really the only place that we've literally been dying to stay at caravan parks. We've come to an art gallery and cafe called Marawudi. It's supposed to have some beautiful indigenous art here and good coffee. I'm not much of a coffee drinker, I'm more decaf, but I tell you what, in this heat, with no sleep, you need something to give you a bit of a pep in your steps. So we're gonna go check that out now. Alright, so we've come to the town centre of Jabiru and no one's here. We'll go check it out anyway, but I don't think any shops are open. So this is the town centre. I don't know if it's just because it's the middle of the day. No one here. It's open. It's the only thing that's open 7 days here, but even that looks like there's no one there. So I think because it's a Saturday today, I think Saturdays and Sundays most of the shops are closed. So that's why it's pretty much a ghost town. But yeah, this is Jabiru and we're going to go check into our campsite for the night and head to the pool. Good morning. It is a cool 30 degrees. 8:30 a.m. and I don't think it cooled down at all. I think it was 30 degrees all night and it's gonna get up to 38 today. But anyway, let's not start the morning with complaints, otherwise we'll complain all day. Start the day feeling grateful to be here. Today we're going to go check out Hills Crossing. It's one of the most dangerous road crossings in Australia because at high tide the water flows over the bridge. It's more just like a concrete slab. Barramundi come from upstream, and so the crocodiles know this, and they kind of how bears hunt for salmon. The crocodiles all line up, and you can see the barramundi basically just swimming straight into their mouth. A lot of cars get washed up. They underestimate, one, how deep it is, two, how quick the water's flowing. So there's so many photos of cars just like washed up. So that's number one, why it's dangerous. Number two is because you've got all the crocodiles crossing. So it's crocodile infested waters. So you don't want to get your car washed up. A few people have died there. There's a few risque fishermen. I don't know if it's for a show, but they basically, you see them fishing right next to crocodiles. They always say for every one croc you see, there's 10 that you don't underwater. So very, very risky. But yeah, we're gonna go check that out. So yeah, we're gonna go check out that crossing at high tide, which I think is like 2 p.m. We have left Kakadu National Park. Yesterday afternoon we went to Cahill's Crossing, what I was talking about, the Australia's deadliest road crossing, and we didn't get too lucky. We didn't see any crocs crossing the road. We did see one little croc. We named him Jeffrey, but he was just kind of chilling. He was waiting for the tide to basically go back out so the fish could come to him, but he wasn't actually like crossing the road or doing anything crazy like that. When you Google Cahill's Crossing, you see all these like crocs on the road, you see like 20 crocs in the water catching fish, so you kind of just expect that's what it's going to be like when you go there, but that was not the case for us. We were told you'd have to be there like August, September is the best time to kind of see that action. And then we went to Ubirr's Rocks, which is the rock art right next to Cahill's Crossing. Basically it's in that same area, and we watched the sunrise from the lookout there, and it was just amazing watching the sunset over the floodplains. And we've made our way to Darwin now. We're going to spend a few days here just chilling, catching our breath a bit, and we're still struggling to sleep. I don't mind the heat during the day, it's just at night, like it's just, yeah, not sleeping is not a fun time. And I was speaking to one of the locals today in a shop, and she was saying like it's unusually humid for this time of year, which I think I've mentioned maybe before in this video. Usually it's a drier heat, but yeah, this past week or so has been like really humid heat. I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. I know my videos aren't the most consistent for a few reasons. I just want to be a little bit more present in some places and kind of just soak it all in. I feel like it can be a bit fast paced, so I'm just trying to make a conscious effort to film and capture it all, but also, yeah, put down the camera and all that too. And also we actually don't have much signal. Obviously in Darwin now we have signal, but yeah, we haven't had a lot of signal in the Northern Territory, so even if I wanted to upload a video every day or every week, I couldn't. So yeah, that's another reason. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on. So thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you in the next video, whenever that is, hopefully next week or so.